Welcome back, guys. So in the part one, we have configured all the IP addresses on this router, right? And now we are going to configure RIP. RIP is that is routing information protocol. So there is always one way that we can use a static route because we have covered static route till now. So using static route, we can make communication possible between this computer to the server or this computer to another computers or from one network to another network. But if we configure the static route, then we have to configure route on this router towards this, then on this routers towards forward, on this router 3 to further network. And once we have configured this forward path, we have to configure the reverse path as well, from router 3 towards router 2, from router 2 then towards router 1, and then again we have to configure towards this server. If we have some browsing server like you're opening that google.com or Netflix or anything, any server, so you have to configure that reverse path as well. So that is little tedious job, and if that problem becomes more uh, when you are connect, their networks are fluctuating. Sometimes one more network is connected here, then you have to configure that network in all the routers. So that we will learn in the RIP, that how it is being solved. So let's go to our presentation. So I just tell you something about our that how it is working. So this is not morning, this is, we can say, evening or afternoon. So anything you can say evening, because day 16 we have two sessions, so that's why I have divided into two parts. So let's do that one. So let's just summarize that dynamic routing protocols, right? We are having one option that I just told you, that was static routing, but that is little tedious job and that is not good for the large networks. So another option is our dynamic routing protocols. So whenever we are using the dynamic routing protocols, so we are having the two types of protocols. The first is interior gateway protocol and another one is exterior gateway protocols. So interiors are IGP, the protocols which are running within an autonomous system, running within autonomous system, within AS, I can say. So within AS means that what is happening within AS means that is the all the nodes or routers of the same enterprise or same company, like that one. So or belonging to the same. Suppose you are having a big company like Verizon, right? In America, we are having one company, Verizon. So all the routers related to the Verizon, they will be all running on the IGP. They will be on the same AS. But nowadays, what is happening sometimes that there is a very large enterprise, so even they are purchasing uh, more number of AS, because these AS numbers are the public AS numbers are being purchased from the our internet authority, that IANA we are having for the purchase. So we buy the IP addresses as well as the AS numbers for the from the IANA for our use. So IGPs are basically the within autonomous system, or we can say that within an enterprise. And the next thing is our EGP. So that is inter autonomous system, that different AS we use our EGP, different AS, that is we use the EGP. So in EGP, we are having only one protocol that we use, that is BGP, that is being used between different AS. And if you talk about the within autonomous system or IGP protocols, we are having the RIP, IGRP, OSPF, and EIGRP. We are having one more ISIS as well, that is also similar to OSPF. That's not mentioned here, so I just thought to mention, and that's also link state. So these are the IGP protocols we are having. Some of them are dependent on the distance vector, and some of them are the link state. So in the previous session, I have discussed what is this distance vector and link state. So I'm not going to discuss it once again. If you haven't watched the previous one, then please go through it. It's quite simple. I think just 2 minutes job. That's it. So distance vectors protocols are RIP and IGRP. So IGRP is not used nowadays. It's, we can say, the out of date. So in fact, RIP is also not in the syllabus of the CCNA, and most of the enterprises are not using RIP. But because why this RIP is not supporting authentication. So advancement of RIP version 2 is available now. That version 2 supports authentication and provides the encryption as well, that MD5 encryption. So that's why we use RIP version 2. But this RIP is not in the syllabus of the CCNA. But still, I'm going to tell you today so that you can just understand a little, because this is a very basic protocol. It's like that if you going upstairs and you skip the first stair of your stairs, then it's really you have to jump one step. So that's why I thought to tell you RIP as well. And my teacher from where I teach, I got this knowledge, they also taught me. So I thought I'm just following the same practice. So RIP is our distance vector protocol and link state is our OSPF. And this EIGRP is hybrid. Actually, this is the combination of both distance vector protocol as well as link state protocols. Means this EIGRP having the both the features, distance vector as well as the link state. So that's why it is called as the hybrid. So both are, it is combined, that EIGRP only. So normally if you go to the any enterprise, then most of the peoples are just using our OSPF only. Or in fact, if you go to the industry, then you will see that EIGRP is used between 20%, or in fact 10 to 20% or 15% something. That enterprise use EIGRP. I think Netflix is using EIGRP, or I think one more company, I'm not sure about that, but very few companies are using EIGRP. The problem of why they are using less is that because EIGRP was the Cisco proprietary till 2013. After 2013, they make it as an open standard. So although they made it an open standard, but still lots of the other companies are not using this EIGRP, because I think their software level is like that and they don't want to make changes in their software. So that's why most of the companies are still not supporting EIGRP. So these are the open standards: RIP, OSPF, and one I told you, ISIS. So maximum is covered by the OSPF. Most of the enterprises are running OSPF, and some of the companies are also running ISIS. And this ISIS is also known as the CLNS. We call it as connectionless network, something I don't know, remember actually. But this is a CLNS protocol. We call it as to the ISIS. Okay, so just a minute, I think there is some mismatch. Or just hold on, guys. Sorry. So now let's continue. So that's what I was talking about. That 10 to 20% are using the EIGRP, and yes, ISIS and OSPF for majority used in majority, and RIP is also used wherever there is a legacy network. Although the new enterprises are not preferring the RIP, because nowadays the security is very point of focus right now. Everybody is worried about the security. Once everything is going digital, the more digital we are going, the more secure we want to be. So that's why we are not using the RIP, but still we are just using OSPF and ISIS in majority when we are going to our IGP protocols. So that's okay. Let's see what is the next slide. Yeah. So now we start our RIP. So RIP stands for our routing information protocol, and it share routing information in periodic updates. Okay, so it's just sending in periodic updates, and during that periodic updates, it is sharing the link state information or the routing information, that whatever the new routes are introduced in the network, that will be shared via periodic updates. So it is having two versions, RIP 1 and RIP 2. Let's see what are the difference between them. So I have just copied one picture from the internet, and this is showing the clear comparison between the version 1 and version 2. So for the RIP version 1 and version 2, both the versions are using the Bellman-Ford algorithm. So this is just an algorithm developed by Bellman-Ford. So they have given their name as an algorithm. And the path selection is hop based. So that's what we call it as the distance vector, right? So that's why RIP is distance vector protocol, because that is counting the hop as a metric, and based on the hop counts, it is taking the decision that on which path it should send the traffic. Next thing is our routing. So in the version 1, that is a classful, and in version 2, that is a classless. So when we means the class full means that it is supporting that only up to 16. After 16, it is going to the /24. After /24, it can go to /32 only. While in the classless, we can use anything like 60, 24, 23, /24, /25, as we seen in the previous uh, first part. In fact, I should say that we have to use the classless IP addressing in order to avoid IP wastages, right? Otherwise, if we use the classful IP address, we get 255 IP addresses in one network, and we have just one hop, and in one hop we have to use only two IP addresses, and the remaining 253 IP addresses goes wasted, right? So that's why classless, that's why we go to the version 2, and that is highly preferred. Next thing is about the transmission, that whenever we are having the transmission between two routers, they are going to use broadcast in traffic to form the neighborship or updates, right? While the version 2 is using the multicast addresses to communicate from one router to another router. This is that communication I'm talking about, the for routing updates only, not for the traffic. Traffic is as usual, that will be the unicast only, but just for the routing updates or for the management purpose of the RIP, that version 1 uses broadcast for the signaling point of view, and RIP version 2 uses multicast to collect all the routing information. Administrative distance, AD value we talked about, because the lower AD value is preferred. So the AD value of the RIP is 120. And the most important part is the hop count limitation. That is 15. The RIP supports only 15, and this has been asked in CCNA multiple times, that RIP supports how many hops. So that RIP that hops are 15 only. If you configure up to 16 hops, your packet will be dropped. So in fact, 15 hops means that suppose you have one router, another router, one hop, two hop, three hop, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? So that's how up to this point. After that one, the traffic will be dropped. Just hold on, guys. Sorry, guys, I got a call for an interview. I'm just trying to switch my job. No problem. So, anyway, so after up to how many hops we have done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So, this is 14. And this is 15. So what is happening, that only up to this hop counts your RIP will support, and if any hop is further away, that will be ignored. You cannot send traffic further after 15 hops. So that's why the hop count limit, and that you remember, that is in the series. It's not like that one, that it does not support the 15 nodes. If you are having the connectivity like this, you are having total how many routers here? 3 to 5. So it does not mean that 15 routers only. It means that how many hop count it controls. So it is having only 2 hops. So just keep in mind, do not confuse with the number of routers in the network. It is just a hop count limit. Authentication, I just told you that version 1 does not support authentication, while version 2 is using the MD5 encryption, right? So protocol, it is using UDP to form the neighborship and sharing the routes between one to another. So that is protocol, it is using the UDP. So that is the basic information for the RIP. I think there will be something else as well. So now we go to the RIP version 2. So we have seen the RIP that was relating to some basic information. Then we see the comparison of RIP version 1 and version 2. So RIP version 1, that's why we are not using. So now let's focus on the RIP version 2, that what are the basic things are on the RIP version 2. So RIP version 2, we discussed just in the previous one that it is using the multicast address, right? Version 2 for the transmission. So it is using the multicast IP of 224.0.0.9. It supports the triggered updates. That triggered updates means that whenever the new route is coming, it will trigger the router to send the update. Suppose, let's understand like this one. Suppose we are having these two routers, router 1 and router 2, and from the router 1 we are having one network connected like this one. All of a sudden one new network is introduced on that one. So once the new network you introduced, you made configuration changes on the RIP, you advertised this network inside this RIP, right? As you advertise inside the RIP, because this is a triggered information, just router 1 immediately came to know that something new has happened, so it triggered it, and that triggered will be sent to router 2. If now you will be thinking that if it does not happen, that triggered update, one, what happens? Then what happens if any changes are happening? Suppose this network goes down, so it will be aware of the routing updates that we call as a periodic update, because they are having the periodic updates and they match their routing tables. So that will also be known on the periodic updates, but it supports the supports the triggered updates as well. Whenever the new route is introduced, it will just immediately trigger an update, and it is sent to all the connected routers. Whatever the routers will be connected, it will be sent to further, like that one. So it is like that very fast method to update all the routers that I have new network connected towards me. So that is the benefit of the triggered updates. Next, supports the classless routing. We just discussed that classless routing means that it is supporting the /26, /27, /28. So anything we can use the classless. So that is the classless routing. AD value of the RIP is 120. That's fine. Maximum hop count limit of RIP is 15. That's also we just discussed. And timers in RIP. Yeah, that is very important part. So the first thing is the route update timers. So as I said, that periodic updates. So that periodic update timer is 30 seconds. That after every 30 seconds, it can send an update to all the routers that I am having this of data routing table, and this database, are you having the same or not? So these are the periodic updates, and they are being sent on the 30 seconds. So these are the default values. If you want to change, you can change accordingly up and down based on your network requirement, but these are the default values, and I highly recommend, not I, in fact everyone recommends that please use this one, because these are the values which are defined via many research and developments, and then finally they have come to this conclusion. But still, if you feel that you need some more updates, or you have smaller network, you can make a frequent updates, you can reduce this time. There's no restrictions on that one. Next thing is route invalid timer, that is 180 seconds. I think there is some problem. I think this is wrong. Route invalid timers are not 180 seconds. Let me check just a second. Route invalid timers in RIP. Routing, the value is 180 seconds. Invalid time. Okay, sorry. This is same 180 seconds. It's okay. I was confused. The 30 seconds is the update timers. Invalid timer is 180 seconds. And the flush timer is by default value is 240, means 60 seconds more than that one. That's okay. So I have written right. There's no confusion on that one. So the invalid timers is like that after, because what it does actually, it is keep on sending the keep alive messages to the neighboring router. Keep alive messages, and for that keep alive, if it does not receive that keep alive for 180 seconds, it sends as a root invalid timers, right? Because that root is invalid. So that for 180 seconds, if it does not receive any update from that one, it declares as a invalid root. And for 180 seconds, its waits, so it's almost similar, both the same, both the things are same. It waits for the same time, hold down timers, that it waits for the 180 seconds and just check that if it has received something or not. It waits 60 seconds more, and if it does not gets anything from 60 seconds, it's just flush out that route, and it declares that there's no route like that one, or that neighbor gone down, or that network switch has faulty or link is down, something like that one. So that is the meaning of our basic timers, right? So that's what we do. And let's see if I have more something. No, we don't have. So that was just basic information about the RIP version 2. Let's try to configure our RIP in the packet tracer. Okay, so let's jump to our packet tracer, and the first job we are going to do on this router. So this configuration is very simple. You just have to enable config T, right? Once you are in the configuration mode, just type router. And once you type router, just put the question mark. You are having the different types of the routing protocols. You have the BGP, you have the EIGRP, you are having the OSPF, you are having the RIP. So right now I'm going to use RIP, router RIP. We are having the router RIP, and I'm not using RIP version 1. I'm just using version 2. So you can choose an option version here, right? So just type version 2. So now the RIP you're running on this router, that is version 2. And one more thing, that if in the one router you are running RIP version 1 and another routing RIP version 2, they will not form neighborship. They will not transfer routes from one to each other. They should be having the same version on the routers. Okay, so that version 2. And now RIP is done. Now what I have to do, I have to tell this RIP that which of the networks are connected through RIP. So the first network is connected on this or in fact I should say from the left one. So the first network we have connected, that is 10.1.1.128/26. So we have to use the command network. That is one network we have connected. We will say 10 dot, or in fact you can put the say the question mark. So it is showing that network number, right? Network number. So now we can say that 10.1.1.1.128. This one. Right now I'm just advertising this network to the RIP, because the RIP will get information about this network. And after that one, we use the subnet mask. We don't use, just and press enter. So that's in OSPF we use the subnet mask, but in the RIP we just enter the network. That's it. So that is done. And another command we have to use no auto summary. And that is very important, because if you do not give this command no auto summary, then what happens that it summarizes all the networks. We discussed in the previous, I think, day 15 video, that what is that summarization. It summarizes all and it gives you /24, because you are using the same uh, pool on all the routers, so it will summarize and they will not able to communicate. So you have to keep the point, you have to give this command no auto summary, because by default this RIP summarizes all the routes and makes them one. Okay, and next we have to advertise this. So no auto summary we can give at the last, not a problem, but now I have to advertise this network 10.1.1.8 10.1.1.8. I think I have to use 255.255.254 if I can give it or not. No, no, our network is missing. So let me give you network command. It is showing that I cannot give this value. So let's give this one, no problem. It's 8, but I'm very much doubtful about that one, that how it will distinguish other routes. No problem, we will just check. And the next network I have to advertise, that 10.1.1.0. Fine. Now let's just exit it from here. Exit and just check the show routes. Show IP route. So it will just tell that how many routes we have got. So they have locally connected 10.1s are /30 /32 /30 /26 /32. That's okay. Now let's configure our this router 2. Same thing we are going to do. First enable, go to config t router rip version 2, and then I have to advertise the network. So network, first left side one, that one, 10.1.1.0, 10.1.1.0, and then right side is this one, 10.1.1.4. So network 10.1.1.4. That's perfect. Give no auto summarize, no auto summary. That's so now router 2 is done. Let's go to router 3. Which you see that how simple it is. Just enable config t router rip version 2 network. First network I want to give the left one 10.1.4, 10.1.1.4, and that's okay. Network, and then this big network 10.1.1.64, 10.1.1.64. That's perfect, and no auto summary. That's right. And let's check the routes now. So and show IP route. We have received routes. You see that this term R means that that route has been received from the RIP. You can see the label here. You might be seeing that R means the RIP. So whenever we are having the R, that R means the RIP. So that 10.1.1.0 information we are having here on this router 3, and that 10.1.0 is this one, right? And we should be having this information as well, 10.1.1.128. Let me check. 128. Yes, we are having this route, and that has been received via RIP. Perfect. So I should be able to ping from PC3 to PC1. PC1 is having the 10.1.1.131 IP, right? So let's try to ping it from the PC3. Command prompt ping 10.1.1.131. Let's check whether we get it or not. Request timed out, and yes, we get the reply. Perfect. You see, this is the job of the RIP, that it advertises the routes to all the further nodes, right? If we do not give use this RIP, then we might have used static, and then all the routes information will be traveling from here to there. And we have not configured the RIP on this router, so let's do on this as well. Enable config t, and then router RIP that version 2 first. If we do not give version 2, then they will not form neighborship. And then I have to tell about the network. This one first, 10.1.8, 10.1.1.8, and then network, this one, 10.1.1.12, 10.1.1.12. Perfect. And no auto summary. If you do not give this no auto summary, then also there's a big problem. So now our server is also reachable from all the computers. Our server IP is 10.1.1.14. So let's try to ping from here now. It should be pingable. Let me try. 14. I can ping it or not. Yes, it's reachable. The same thing, this router will be reachable from this here as well. This is just very, I have made the things very easy using this routing protocols RIP or something. ping 10.1.1.14, and I can ping from all the computers. Let me try to ping from PC1. Ping 10.1.1.14. Yes, now, and if I want to ping this 166 as well, this computer, then also I can ping 10.1.1.66. So this first ping is dropped to resolve the MAC address of the node. That ARP request goes for that one, and after that one, it just replies the ping. So that's it for the RIP. But let me just show you some more things about the RIP. What options we are having. I'm not going to change anything, but just I want to show you that what options we are having and what we can change from there, right? So first thing, it is not route show IP route. So first thing is very much clear that we are having the different type of routes. C means that is connected. L is the local routes, that is directly connected. If we configure any static route, in the previous one we have seen that S was showing because we configured the static route. Whenever we are having the R means that that route has been received via RIP. So earlier you remember that the top, when I have not run the RIP in remaining routers, I just run on this router one. Remaining all were having no RIP. So there was no RIP updates received from any of the routers. Then only we are having the connected and local routes. Once we run the RIP on the neighboring routers, then they keep sending the routes of their network, right? So then we start receiving the routes from the other networks or the connected routes or how far they are connected. So let's go to configure terminal. Now I want to show something more about the router RIP. So let's see what we are having now. So first thing is the auto summary. So we do not give auto summary. If we give auto summary, then these all will be summarized to the /24. So that's why we do not give the auto summary. Distance, define the administrative distance. The AD value is by default, that is 120 for the case. But if you want to change it, then you can also change the AD value of the node. Network, that is enable routing on the IP network, that we used network command. So there's no for that one. There is a no to negate that one. Passive interface. Passive interface, that is the interface where we don't want to send any RIP information. Suppose this router 1, that router 1 is having, let me open it, the pen here, so I can teach you better. So let's suppose this is our router, right? This router, and this router is sending this RIP updates that on this router here, this is router is connected on this side and this side as well. While if we just check, then we don't have to send these RIP information on this network, right? Because this side there is no router, that there is this interface don't need any RIP messages, but still it is sending. So for that case, we can use this passive interface, that please do not send any RIP updates or RIP messages towards that interface. So wherever we don't want to send any RIP information or RIP messages or RIP neighborship we don't want, we can configure that interface as a passive interface, and there the RIP routing information will not be sent. But do not configure the by mistake. Suppose you configure that passive interface, this interface, if you configure this one, so in that case that router will not form the neighborship with this router 4. So always just choose very carefully whenever you are configuring the passive interface. Another thing is about the redistribute. A redistribute command we use to give or in fact the redistribute means like the flooding the other routing protocols information on this router. It's like suppose on this router you are running a RIP, and under another network, this suppose this is running OSPF. So you by default this OSPF routes will not be shared with the RIP, but once you use redistribute OSPF, once you do that, OSPF routes will be distributed or they will be merged with the RIP. So that's the job of the redistribution. And you can change the timers version we already discussed. So let's just check the timers, that what is we are having in the timers. So let's check the timers. Timers question mark. So basic routing update timers, route timers basic, and now you can change the interval between updates. So now you can change the these updates, right? And if you want to check that RIP information, that your RIP is running or not, for that purpose we use this command show router RIP. Show IP. What is the command? Show IP RIP. No, still it is saying something. Database. So now this is just one table information it is having, right? So this RIP database showing this from the router 1 we are having, that is directly connected 1.0. We have given the uh, command as advertise, that one, right? And that is connected via this 10.1.2 that we can check. And so by default we can check the database table from the RIP. But if you want to check that if you are running which protocols, then you can use this command show IP protocols. So it will show you that how many routing protocols you are running. So right now we are having this only one protocol, that is routing protocols, that is a RIP. It is sending updates every 30 seconds by default timer. Next due in 6 seconds, right? It will send in the 6 seconds. Invalid timer is 180 second. That's also I told you. Hold down is 180 seconds. Flushed, that is 240. Outgoing update filter list for all interfaces not set. Incoming update filter list for all interfaces also not set. Redistributing RIP. So there is a no redistribution right now. This just inside RIP only. And the default version control, that is okay. And the currently interfaces which are participating in the RIP, they are the gigabit ethernet 0/0, that is this one interface, right? So this interface, that one, that is participating this gigabit 0/0, and gigabit internet 0/1, that is this interface, right? This one gig 0/1, and another one is serial 010, this one. So all three interfaces are participating. If you remove, right, because I configured RIP late on this interface, right, on this interface, so in that case that we can see that only two interfaces will be assigned. So let's just give a no command on that one, and let me show you. Config t router RIP and no. And if I want to remove that which one, G0/1. So G0/1 is having this network 10.1.1.8. So I have to give the command no network 10.1.1.8. So now our server will be isolated, and just run the command do show IP protocols. Do show IP. It's not showing, so let's exit it from here. Show IP protocols. What happened? No network router RIP. I have disabled RIP or something. Why it is saying? Because do show IP protocols, it does not do something. Config t router RIP version 2. Let me configure once again. I am configuring only 2 this time. 10.1.1. Looks like I deleted the routing protocol RIP. So 128 is this one, right? And the next network is this one, 10.1.1.0. 10.1.1.0. Perfect. And I have just two interfaces this time, that G0/0, this one, and serial 010. I have not included that 0/1. So now if I check it, show IP protocols, then it is showing interfaces. Still it is showing serial 010. Why it is showing? It should not show, or why it is showing like that? Or I have to clear IP rip, clear IP question mark, and I cannot clear rip. I have for the BGP, DHCP, NAT, OSPF and routes only. So I cannot clear rip. Let me check once again. Show IP protocols. Still I'm having that serial not 0/G0/1. Let me try to delete once again. Config T router rip no network 10.1.1.8. Press enter and show IP protocols. It is deleting everything or something. When I'm giving no network, it looks like some problem. It should not delete everything. I think it is deleting everything, or it is resetting or something, restarting. Let me check another router. What are you doing on the next one? Enable show IP routes. It is still receiving routes. 128 is available. That is okay. And 10.1.8 that is also available. And 10.1.1.0 that is directly connected. That's fine. So why it is not showing over there? Let me check once again. Show IP protocols. No. Show IP routes. It is receiving the routes, but I don't know why it is not running that command show IP protocols, because packet tracer is also having some limited functionality, because this is just a simulator. It is not an actual router, right? So it looks like something wrong with that one. C directly connected. L R, it is receiving the routes. It is performing very well. 1.64 that's also received. Why it is not showing show IP protocols? Oh, stage. Sorry. Anyways, I will just look onto that. But these are the basic things we check from the RIP, and that's what we do. So that's okay from the RIP. And if you have any doubts or any trouble in the configuration, you can just reach me, and I will help you out. And you can also reach me via comment section, or you can follow me on Instagram, because I just see the messages over there, and my ID is Sir Anuj Shukla. Sir Anuj Shukla. You can follow me on Instagram with that one. Spelling is, let me type in the capitals. Sir Anuj Shukla. So that's how you will find it in Instagram. You can follow me over there, and I will take the doubts. And also you can just write in the comment sections, and then I will get back to you. And if you are watching these sessions recently, then obviously you might be knowing that I'm taking the live sessions every Saturday 4 p.m. So you can join our live sessions for the doubts, right? So I'm not covering any new topics in the live sessions, just for doubts only, because I was seeing some doubts over there. So just that session is dedicated to the doubts only. You can, if you have any doubts, you can ask me, or in fact, do some troubleshooting. You can share your screen with me. I will just have a look at what problem you're facing, why your configuration is not working. So such type of things we will do in that live session. That's on every Saturday. Okay. So, and if you are watching that video later on, then you can use our comment section. I just write the comment for any doubts. I will get back to you. Okay, till that, guys, bye bye. I'll talk too much. Sorry for that one. Please bear with me. So, see you in the next session. Till that, bye bye.